give him the kick that he needs, guys, because this guy could potentially be the new Chester Bennington. Welcome to the Juice Podcast, guys. It's Friday, and today we are doing another music review. We are taking our trip to Japan this time around, and we are looking at a rock band called Coldrain, and the song called Gone. These guys are actually singing all their tracks in English, even though they're actually from Japan. And we've been listening to the track, and we kind of agreed that there has a 2000 sound vibe to it.
It was some of the riffs that I was noticing. There was a little not distorted electric guitar who had this little riff. If you remember, I think it's Blink 182 had that that whole intro riff. They had they had a lot of those same chords that they, because that's basically what it is. It's a chord they are. Let's not get into the technical stuff because I don't know the English terms, but they were basically having a lot of those little riffs here and there, in the same style. So it gave it that like Zero's like punk rocky kind of feel to it, without being the slightest punk rock. It was very heavy. Yeah,
most definitely. Like they have a lot of songs where there's like a screamo going on. They're definitely more in the hardcore genre of the rock of the rock types here, and what I'm really sticking out to it is definitely the vocalist. He is probably, most definitely actually, among my top 5 best vocalists in the entire world.
He was very skilled.
He is amazing. Like the way his range is, and the way he can just switch his like normal vocals into screaming, and then just turn it right back to these high notes.
Yeah,
singing once again. It's like kind of reminds me. Like, I'm a big Linkin Park fan, and it kind of reminds me of the Chester Bennington style of doing things. But then again, I will be very controversial and probably go on a leap here and say that he was better at this particular thing than Chester Bennington was. Like, Chester had a lot of good qualities. He's definitely one of the best singers of all time. No questions asked there. But this guy, we can't look past him because, damn, this is a vocalist who really knows what he's doing.
I disagree with. I agree with that he's a vocalist who definitely knows what he's doing. I disagree with Chester actually being a good singer. I'm sorry to say it, but I absolutely, completely disagree. He was one of the first where these screamo kind of things actually got more popular, and it was the start. Like Linkin Park.
All Linkin Park fans is just swamming that dislike button right now.
Thing is, he was one of the first who did it, and he did it well. He was very, very good. But because this wasn't as popular and mainstream, not a lot of people had the time to try it. I think Chester is so iconic because he was one of those who actually brought it into the world. It's basically the same. Just because you invented a guitar, it doesn't make you the greatest guitar. There would be guitarists today that are like 1,000 times better than the one who invented a guitar. It's basically the same. Chester got known for this style of music, and he was the first who did it to that extent, got so famous, and it was amazing music. But I would strongly disagree in him being the best. I absolutely agree with this guy being many, many times more efficient and better at it. But it's also like this thing has become more mainstream, so more people are training it and becoming better. Chester was one of the first who actually did it. So all respect to Chester Bennington for bringing this into the world. But I actually don't think he's the best for modern standards. People have become so skilled and trained.
It would actually be very, very easy if Coldrain had implemented rap stuff into the tracks. It would be very easy to say Linkin Park versus Coldrain.
Yeah.
But then again, in some ways, I'm fantasizing. Yeah, I'm fantasizing, guys, about this vocalist from Coldrain taking maybe taking over for Chester Bennington's role in.
He definitely could.
He would actually suit the band very well.
He doesn't sound the same as Chester, but you just can't sound the same as Chester. He has been so iconic.
I would have no problem of this guy taking on both bands at the same time.
Yeah.
Give him the kick that he needs, guys, because this guy could potentially be the new Chester Bennington.
He was very, very good. And he had the control. He had the high. He had that high pitch screaming that Chester also was doing. When you hear Chester,
his
that's actually
screams
not
are so controlled.
And with Chester, there's not as much distortion on Chester's voice. Actually, it's more high. It's more fine in some way. And he was up there. The high pitch, the not so distorted.
Yeah. The weird thing about Chester's voice, which I actually think made Chester way more unique in compared to so many other vocalists out there, is probably that when you hear Chester singing, he has like 2 other notes in his voice at the same time. It kind of sounds like he's kind of already has. When you're recording music, you're recording a main track and you're recording a dub track. A dub track is to make a sound way more built up and kind of who's supporting your own vocal in a way.
Yeah, you're duplicating it.
Yeah, you're duplicating, and that's what it does.
It makes it sound more impressive.
Yeah, and in some ways, when Chester was singing live, he already kind of had that.
Yeah, you felt like there was some more depth to his.
Yeah, just like
to his voice.
You can actually hear there was like something else going on, and it was just him singing that, which was very impressive.
But the thing about this with Chester, yes, I agree into some degree, but again, I with this guy, he actually is a skilled singer with beside his screaming. Now, this is something I'm probably going to get a lot of flack for, but this is just why I like this so much, because I really like this, and I love Linkin Park, so don't get me started on that. I love this guy, and I love this track, because it has all the new age vibe. It doesn't have the rap, but it has all those, like, screaming, the heaviness, the extreme kind of thing, the extreme feeling of it that there was in the zeros. So this was the first time that kind of music kind of got mainstream, like in the 2000s, and it has that extreme vibe that it had back then. But he can sing. He can actually sing.
He can actually sing, this guy,
and he's very skilled at singing. If he was releasing pop albums, I wouldn't be surprised, because he has a very nice, beautiful pop voice. But he also have the screaming part really nailed down. Very powerful. And that's actually why I think that he's just so good, because that's actually what I felt like a lot of other musicians sometimes lack in Linkin Park's music. I actually didn't think Chester was that great of a singer. They made amazing music. He was unique. He could something very, very special with his voice. He was characteristic. But he didn't have a lot of technique, actually. He didn't have that pretty of a voice. He was unique, and that carried him through. Like, nobody's gonna... please correct me. Nobody's gonna say Brian Johnson is an amazing singer from AC/DC. What he does is unique. It's weird. It's special. It's all kinds of fucked up, but it's not pretty. He's not Celine Dion, right?
No.
He doesn't have the range. He doesn't have the technique to even do it. And it was kind of like what I feel with a lot of musicians. There's some musicians just do this one thing just so amazingly, and they are unique in some way, but it doesn't necessarily have a lot of skill or technique to back it up. They're just unique in their own way. And this guy has a little more technique. Yeah, he's just that more skilled in being pretty in the voice.
Yeah, he's definitely like I'm blown away by his singing in general. Yeah. It's kind of funny whenever you're looking up on Coldrain on YouTube, especially. You can check out. I think they made a whole DVD where they have like this big stadium show with fireworks and sold out arenas and all this stuff. So they're really big in Korea.
Korea?
Yeah, in Korea, like in Japan and Korea and
the whole
Asian.
He just said that we were gonna review some kind of song from the Middle Eastern Europe, and I was like, "What are you talking about?"
Like,
we're touring over there from Japan.
They're touring there. They're touring there a lot. But there's then again, you can actually find videos of Coldrain being on Warped Tour in America.
Yeah,
and
I would imagine they were
it's
popular.
such a contrast, because you're looking at this video where they're singing at this stadium, and you can see the Warped Tour where there's barely any people, and the sound is shitty as if, and people are just standing there with the beer like, yeah, I guess this is okay. What is happening? What is happening? They're never coming back. They're never coming back. Why would they?
Yeah.
It's so bad. Like, but now we're reviewing the song Gone. And you actually pointed out that it sounded very anime. Had this anime vibe to it.
Anime protagonist kind of vibe, you know.
They are from Japan, so
I guess it makes sense.
It kind of makes sense that it's this anime intro again, kind of like the Jonathan Young review with the.
Yeah.
That was also very
that
anime,
was also like.
But you could, if you put those two songs up against each other, especially with an anime review, you would have a very clear vision of what kind of show you were about to watch anime-wise.
Yeah, it's not Pokemon you're gonna watch.
No, this is not Pokemon. No. This is people slashing each other with swords.
Maybe JoJo?
JoJo?
Would it fit in JoJo?
What is JoJo? Is that an anime? I don't watch anime. I don't know.
So, if anybody who loves anime is gonna watch this, you're gonna die.
Yeah,
you're gonna be killed, roasted.
If you have any anime recommendations, put them in the comments down below.
Why do I know so much about anime? Because I don't watch it. Like I know.
He just went after me for not watching.
I absolutely know so much about anime and I would just spend a whole podcast also talking about how I do not watch TV at all and how I hate it. And I know so much about anime. I think it's from all the memes that I just wanted to understand a lot of these weird memes with JoJo and that thing with the tongue and the cherry. So I just ended up having to figure out what the hell it was about, and now I just know a lot about anime because apparently I'm fucked like that.
Yeah, you're fucked like that.
Really?
Anyway, we should actually give this song some stars. We were gonna review it on structure, lyrics, and sexiness.
Yeah.
So which one do you want to prefer starting up with?
Structure.
Structure. What do you think of the structure?
I think in regards to things like the production, which I also think falls into the category of structure. It's very well written. It's well produced.
It's one of the better productions I've heard in a long time.
I think when you listen to this kind of music, you got to remember that there's not gonna be a lot of organic or physical instrument. I think you can hear that it has been worked down to the very last detail. Somebody
feels like there's some kind of artificial drumming, like not replacing the drums, but kind of put on the drums.
Yeah, it's definitely been edited to the very finest detail.
Yeah,
and that's fine. That's absolutely fine. It's very popular.
There's an eye for detail in this. Like
really. Like normally you would hear just something, I guess, but it's very well produced.
I love how it starts out with like a clapping track.
Yeah,
that follows the tempo. I would say like you're watching a live show in a way.
Yeah, I would say structure-wise, I'm gonna give it. If it's out of 5, I'm gonna give it only 3.5.
They're gonna give him 3.5.
Yeah,
even though it's so well produced.
It is well produced, but I had a little problem in. I guess it was just a little bit too uniform for me. Yeah. It was so well produced. It was not really surprising anymore. It was like predictable to some extent, and there's nothing wrong with it. But I would. It was just like I felt like I'd heard it before. I felt like I had a trouble having a distinction between that and a lot of other things I might have heard.
Yeah, like you almost had a sixth sense of what's gonna happen next.
Yeah, it needed perhaps a little bit of weirdness to it.
Yeah,
I felt like it was a little bit mainstream and it just felt like I've heard it before.
Yeah.
Yeah, doesn't make it a bad song. It's an amazing song, and I will recommend it. But
we
have to look at it critically.
Tracks we don't like, guys. Yeah, we love the tracks we're listening to.
So I would have liked a little bit more something, a little bit like crooked in between, something that made it a little more interesting.
So 3.5 stars on the structure part.
Yeah.
How about the lyrics wise?
I have to be honest.
I really love. There's a big hook in this.
Yes, there are an amazing hook.
I know we've been missing those hooks once in a while.
Lyric-wise, it's again a little difficult for me because the music, it was just a big song. It was like there was screaming parts and I'm like, and I'm like a sucker for the screaming, so I'm just like, oh, he's gonna do it in a minute.
He's doing it.
And I just completely forget to listen to what the hell he's actually saying because I'm just a little bit hyped about like the screaming part. I was like very surprised like with how good he was. So I was more thinking about. When I listened to it, I was more thinking about, he can really sing. He's hitting the notes, and wow, that's real pretty and stuff like that. So I actually a bit forgot to look a bit about the lyrics. But music-wise, that was a good hook, and I'm 4. It's gonna get a 4. I think
it's gonna get 4 stars in the lyrics.
Yeah. Because there was nothing in the lyrics that made me like weirded out. Like lyrics can be of so many things, and there was no part where it was like not structured, or it was like off, or it was weird, or he was messing around with like the structure of putting lyrics together.
It's kind of funny. Like when it comes to lyrics, I really love the impact of the lyrics.
Yeah.
These lyrics are definitely very emotional. There's some story going on behind these lyrics, for sure. But what I'm missing is those lyrics that impacts me in such a way that it makes me rethink my everyday life in a way, or makes myself think back in a way. So,
I'm happy about giving it a 4. What do you think?
Yeah, 4 sounds good.
Yeah, right.
Yes, 4 sounds
good lyrics. It was good lyrics.
Yeah, because they're so they're so emotional, and you can actually feel the emotion going through here, and it's so well written.
Yeah,
it just misses that impact on me as a listener.
I wasn't paying attention to the lyrics, and I think that actually says something about the lyrics, in some way that. It can either be that the music is like so good that you're forgetting to even pay attention to the lyrics or something like that. But sometimes when lyrics really stand out and you just all of a sudden go like, wait, that's what it's about, and you hear that hook and it just impacts you. That would be a 5 for me. But in this case, it was good lyrics. I wasn't paying too much attention to it because I was just enjoying the more the music and the scream, and the lyrics was a bit in the background for me, so I wasn't paying attention. And I think that actually says something about, is it a 5 or is it a 4 in lyric-wise? Do the lyrics stand out
what really bumps me up from 3 to 4 here is definitely the hook in the chorus.
Yeah, you like that a lot.
Yeah, I really that chorus is... It smashes you like a wall, and that hook really takes you by the throat and just pushes you down. It's amazing, man. So sexiness. Where are we here on the sexiness? To be fair, because I kind of agree with you that it's a kind of predictable track. It's very impactful. It's very emotional.
Yeah,
but it's very predictable. So I would throw it down to a 3 stars. Sexy.
I was just about to say the same. I think it's a 3, also because it is more of a. I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, like
it just doesn't.
It's a track that bumps onto a rock playlist.
Yeah,
and then it doesn't really go any further.
Yeah,
it's one of those that it doesn't really surpass me to anything. I've been listening to all their albums, but this song, the only reason that I love this song so much is actually because it's the first song I heard from them. But it's not my favorite track.
It's a damn banger. It's really cool, but it's not that sexy.
They have made so many other tracks that are so much more sexy to me than this one.
Yeah.
So I would actually give it a 3. Which is not a bad review at all.
Not at all.
Because it's out of 5 here. If I gave it a 2, I would have punched myself in the face.
I'd say 3. 3.
Yeah, 3 stars. That sounds reasonable for this track. Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
But in like
now words are getting hard.
Someday I'm gonna learn to speak English. Generally, we are absolutely approving of the song. It's an amazing track.
Yeah.
It's
and
really cool.
If you haven't found Coldrain yet, go check him out. They're like. This is a huge band.
I was just
they sound amazing, and their productions is so good.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's so good, and it's this vocalist. Well,
he's amazing.
He's a god.
Yeah, he's amazing.
He's a god at what he's doing. He's freaking amazing, man.
I'm sitting here burning in with a pun.
Yeah.
I have to give it to him. Like when you see if you hadn't found Coldrain yet, I was just about to go. Well, then come to Denmark. It's cold all the time and it rains all the time.
Yeah. They should actually tour here. Please do, so we can come and watch your live show. That would be a dream come true.
Yep.
Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Music Reviews on The Juice. And we hope you will have an amazing weekend. Remember to subscribe. And if you have any music recommendations, put them down below.
Yeah, go watch if you like musical stuff, go watch the other podcast we did the other day where I am butchering a poor harmonica.
Yeah, we're going to put it down here.
Yeah.
And have a nice weekend. Stay juicy.